How are you?
Can I see you?
Hello. Mute is the power of the select. Oh, I had to do that.
I know how to do that.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to start the meeting. Thanks for coming. It's about 6 after 6, so we're going to start with the roll call.
Honorable Eric Adams, Candace Julian, excused. Honorable Jeffrey Aubrey, excused. Jacqueline Bailey. Here. Gloria Benfield, here. Honorable Gail Brewer, Jessica Mates. Monty Castaneda, excuse me. Honorable Bill de Blasio, Harold Miller, Marco Carrion, excuse. Jacqueline De Leon, excuse. Melissa Del Val Ortiz, presente. Second Vice President, here. Honorable Ruben Diaz Jr., Monica Major. Is Lucy Recio here? No. Thomas Dow, excuse. Karen Eason, third Vice President. Honorable Eugene Matthew, David Suarez, excuse. Honorable Jalissa Ferreras, excuse. Helen Hines Foreman. Tessa Hackett Faria. Helene Hotman Kanofsky. Honorable Letitia James Barbara Sherman. Here. Rita Jones. Here. Honorable Melinda Katz, Susie Tannenbaum. Honorable Andy King, Michael Armstrong.
Here.
Honorable Melissa Mark Ferry Rito, Jessica Ackerman. Chair Gregory Hines, Model Gregory Hambric, Model Sporting Goods.
Here. Hi, that's my new last name.
I was thinking, yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Please excuse me, Gregory came to my mind.
I accept that as a compliment.
Yes.
Coming at the end of the meeting.
Right.
Mars Heights Health Center, Gillian Dunkley. Municipal Credit Union, Joseph Giordano.
Joseph is good.
Because I saw him.
Joseph is good. Yeah.
I tried. Neighborhood Housing Services of Staten Island, Joseph Pierre. Honorable James Otto, excused. Honorable Bill Perkins, Tides Barry. Tamika Robinson. Here. Christian Rodriguez, excused. Honorable Deborah Rose, Stephanie Lady. Honorable Scott Stringer, Marilyn Mosley. St. Francis College, Robert Oliveri. Maria Travaris. UJA Federation of Jewish Philanthropy, New York City. Shasta Kessler. Hillary Stuckham. United Neighborhood Houses, UNH, Andrea Baldwin, Gregory Brenda, UPS, Laura James, Karen Francis, Peter Weiss, Vera Williams, Bernice William Johnson,
Okay, great, that's it. We have a quorum. I don't have a mic because the mics are
She
not.
didn't call my name. Dalia Soto.
Dalia Soto.
She didn't call my name.
Miss what?
Dalia Soto.
We apologize for that.
We
Thank you.
apologize.
It's okay.
Did we miss anyone else?
Tessa just came in.
Okay.
Jacqueline Bailey.
And Cynthia Cox.
She's not.
And we got Tessa.
Yeah, I did Tessa.
Okay.
Jacqueline Bailey, I.
Okay, great. Thank you, Secretary. Welcome to the meeting. Good to see everyone. It doesn't look like it, but we have a quorum. It's a small group, but we do have a quorum, so I guess the rest of the members rather soak up the sun that's outside. Nonetheless, we'll do the business we have to do here. So let's run through the meeting. We have a couple items to obviously go through. First off, accept of the minutes. It's in your packet. Hopefully you had a chance to look at it. It was emailed as well. So unless there are any questions or concerns, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes. Please remember.
Motion to accept.
Motion made by Joe G.
Second.
Been properly second. Say your name, please. Just by Vera Williams. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstained, there being none, so moved. Thank you for that. In the form of board correspondence, I want to recognize an alternate in attendance here for the meeting today from Councilmember Andy King's office. The letter reads that this letter is to confirm the appointment of Michael Sean Armstrong, Esquire, by Legislative and Budget Director as my representative at the CAB meetings. My former Chief of Staff, Ms. Aisha Hernandez Ahmed, will no longer represent me at these meetings. So we want to welcome to the meeting Mr. Michael Sean Armstrong. Mr. Armstrong, thank you for representing the council's office. Any words you want to say to address the CAB at this time?
Thank you for having me, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. All right, so next up, I'm going to move around the agenda just slightly to accommodate our commissioner. We want to move to recognize a couple of past CAB members. We know this is a volunteer board, and a lot of people do this for the love of the community and really see the upliftment of the economic growth of the communities that we serve. And there are many individuals here who served as a member of this CAB in capacities for many years. So for those whose term ended, we wanted to show our appreciation and recognize them formally as a part of this meeting. We have certificates made. I know 2 are in attendance today. So I'll start with the 2 that's in attendance, read the certificates. I'll acknowledge those that's not in attendance, and hopefully if they're not available to make the next meeting, we'll make sure that they receive the certificate. So I'll read what it says first. Most of the certificates are pretty much the same, and then I'll acknowledge the individual that's being honored. So, the Department of Youth and Community Development with the New York City Community Action Board hereby presents this certificate in great appreciation of the many years you have graciously given to the Community Action Program through your work as a representative of the specific organization of the New York on the Community Action Board, and for all your energy advocating on its behalf. Your efforts on behalf of those in need of our community have helped make New York City a better place for all. Presenting on this day, June 9th, 2016, signed by Commissioner Bill Chong and myself, Greg Hambric, Chair of the Community Action Board. So the first person I want to recognize is a representative of UJA, who formerly served as a member of the Executive Committee as well, is none other than Sandy Myers.
By the logo, yeah. I'm not getting anything.
I guess so.
Okay.
In the light.
Of course, that doesn't work, right? Because
No,
that was
it's not
light.
gonna
You might
work.
go a little bit off to the side there.
How
That
about the
works.
TV one, the TV? There's no projection on there.
Well, this, I think, are you okay? Because
Yeah,
this angle's actually
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
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 All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any comments? Words?
I'm good, I'm good, thanks. It's just good to see all of you again. It's been a while, so it's fun to be back. Oh.
And this one is presented to Mr. Dr. Patel, who is representing the Bronx Neighborhood Advisory Board, Region 11. Mr. Patel.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Thank you.
Over here.
The middle.
I just slide down.
Yeah, exactly. This way.
Come over this way a little bit out of the way.
Okay.
There you go.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.
I want to give honorable recognition to his wife. That's what I do at every single meeting.
You're welcome.
Let me know he's on deck.
Just stay here.
Coming in the third, representing Manhattan Neighborhood Advisory Board, Region 3. You just walked in, so wipe the sweat. Come on out. Mr. Anderson Dang.
Hi. How are you?
You gotta get the permission of the lights.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, good.
Good. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now you can go relax. You want to acknowledge others that are not here? So I wanted to publicly recognize the other two honorees who are not here today, but we're going to make sure that they get their certificates mailed to them. So representing United Neighborhood Houses, Mr. Kevin Douglas, and representing Brooklyn Neighborhood Advisory Board 5, Clary Phillips Sr. So let's give them a round of applause. So at this time, I'm going to turn over to Commissioner Chong for his remarks.
I apologize for having to leave early because I'm actually going home to pack. This is my first vacation in 5 years. My last vacation was when I was last here at the Department of Youth Community in 2011 as Deputy Commissioner. It's been a busy and crazy time.
Well, make it quick because you got to go.
But I want to thank everyone, not just those who are on here today, because I know how important and sometimes thankless the work you do is. I mean, 35 years ago when I started as a community activist in Chinatown, one of the very first things I worked on was getting the first, it's hard to believe, but this is 34 years ago, the first Asian American elected to the Area Policy Board. For those of you who remember that, the Area Policy Board was the entity that predated the Neighborhood Advisory Board, and it was an elected position. Person, I guess it was NAB 3, so it was called the Area Policy Board 3 in Manhattan. And what happened back then was, because most people didn't know about it, only a handful of people controlled the process. And so we wanted to make the process more transparent. We had a campaign, we elected this woman, Minerva Chin, and she was literally the first Asian elected to an area policy board in the city. So I know over time, the role of these advisory boards have grown. I think you guys have a much bigger role in picking the priorities and getting the involvement of elected officials. In fact, last week we had a legislative breakfast with elected officials, and a lot of people who were elected officials today started in the Neighborhood Advisory Board. I mean, I was surprised to find out that Grace Ming, the congresswoman from Queens, was chair of her Neighborhood Advisory Board for several years. So the important work you do, I want to make sure you know it doesn't go unnoticed. I want to say a few things about, we just got a budget, well, not passed, but there's an agreement that's been reached between the City Council. I have to tell you, as somebody who was here for 8 years in the Bloomberg administration, is truly another universe. When I testified before the City Council about a month ago, I said in 2013, fiscal year 2013, which was the last year of the Bloomberg administration, our budget was $350 million, which seems like a lot of money. About 160 of that was money that, one-year money that the council put in. This year, fiscal 16, which we're ending in about 2 weeks, our budget was almost $700 million. Almost double. In fact, last July, we awarded $500 million in new contracts. $500 million. I mean, and the hardworking staff here, were very small. They did it seamlessly. And so based on the agreements, and all the details haven't been worked out yet, but it looks like we're going to be, for the first time, serving a new record of young people in the Summer Youth Employment Program, 60,000. The mayor and the city council added almost $38 million to our budget, and it was baseline, meaning every year we don't have to wait to find out a week before the start of summer how much money we have for the summer jobs program. So we're going to be working with the council to help improve the program. I know Greg Hambric has been a great partner, and Modell's has been a work site in the past years, and I know some of you have also stepped to the plate and worked on that. We're getting more funding for our after-school programs. There's additional funding for adult literacy, although we're still working out the details on that. So it's true. So we're probably be somewhere in 750 million. We haven't done the math yet. The budget hasn't been printed yet, but it's truly a different time for DYCD. And in the announcement that the mayor had yesterday in the steps of inside the interior of City Hall steps, of the 9 things he announced, 3 were related to our agency. So we've come a long way from the dark days of 12 rounds of budget cuts, and I just want to update everyone on that. And as we get more details, we'll certainly share them with you, because the council, I think, has to still vote on it on Monday or Tuesday. But I wanted to give you the good news while it's hot off the press, and wish everyone a happy summer.
Thank you.
Did you get money for the summer youth employment program?
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about it, how much you got? And...
I said 38 million.
Oh, okay.
More. So our total budget with the previous funding we had, with federal money, with money the state kicked in this April, will top 80 million.
Wow.
And so we expect to serve at least 60,000 young people. And last year was 54,000. So the last 3 years has been an upward trajectory. We went from 47 to 54 to 60. Other questions?
6 minutes to vacation.
What?
6 minutes to your vacation.
Oh, okay. No, I'm happy to answer any questions. But I apologize for leaving early. You know, I'm halfway packed, but not ready. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner, enjoy your vacation. Have a safe trip.
Go to Canada. Nobody else is the Canadians, I think. Be safe.
Enjoy. Send us pictures.
So our last bit of board correspondence is approving the CAB meeting calendar for 2017. It's in your packet in the back of the minutes from our last meeting. So if you've reviewed it, if you don't have any questions, I'll entertain a motion now to accept that calendar. To the best of our ability, all of the holidays and meetings and all of those things that you have to take into consideration for the calendar have been addressed.
Karen Eason, so moved. So moved.
So it's been properly moved by Karen Eason,
Second.
second by Gloria Benfield. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstaining, there being none, so moved. So at this time, I'm going to ask Artis to come up, and she will give us our financial and program quarterly report.
Good afternoon. My name is Artis Sandrogan. I work in the budget shop in the financial division here at DYCD. And I'm here to... I'm going to do a brief presentation on the budget for city fiscal year 2016. For CSBG in 2016, we had a total budget of $33 million. This was obligated over 3 areas: the program contracts of $26.4 million. We have other contractual services of $1.9 million, and DYCD personnel services of close to $5 million. The program contracts is where we provide our direct services to our CBOs, and we have a variety of different programs in that area. The neighborhood development group, which we allocated $15.6 million to that area. Immigration and refugee assistance area received $600,000. We also have some immigration program at a joint city agency, the Human Resources Agency, and that's for $2.1 million. The vitality or adult literacy is about $500,000. We have fatherhood initiative of $2.9 million. The adolescent literacy of $831,000. And the summer youth employment program, which was last summer, we're reporting on now, of $3.8 million. At the last presentation, we had spending of $12.6 million. And I'm happy to report that we had a 40% increase in our expenses between the last meeting and today. We have $17.7 million. And that's only for a 2-month area. So this data was of May 31st. So there's no May and June data in this report. There's March and April that's new. And over that 2-month, expenses increased 40%. So if you think typically a month's expenditure should represent 8%, so we've had providers submitting their invoices on very, very fast. And as we predicted, we would get this kind of ramp up towards the end of the year. So we're very happy to report that expenses have increased by 40%, and we expect that over the next 2 months of the city fiscal year, we will see the regular 98% spending rate in our program contracts. So that's very, very, very good news. For the other contractual services, we haven't had such a fast increase. We have a 37% increase over the last meeting. And one of the board members asked the last time about our marketing area, where we had only $150 spending for $15,000. So as you will see, we have spent $13,000 of that $15,000. So as expected, we're very happy to report that. The other area that we'd like to talk about is the personal services. We've nearly spent 100% of the budget. We've only $829,000 to expend for that. And that will be more than expended before the end of the city fiscal year. Are there any questions at this time?
Any questions regarding the financial quarterly report? Yes, just say your name, please.
Tamika Robinson. You said something about personal services. What is considered our personal services?
Good question. We set aside a portion of the CSBG grant to pay for the salaries of some of the DYCD staff. So the DYCD staff who work in the community development area, who work for the NDA groups, between 50% of 100% of their salaries are paid for with the community services block grant. DYCD's personal services budget, just to give you an area of comparison, is about $40 million. So CSBG only takes care of $4.7 million of that. So it's a very small number, and it doesn't fully fund. If we were to think of the real cost of the DYCD, CSBG staff, it does not cover 100% of that.
Thank you. Any other questions? Not? Thank you, artist, for that report. I'll entertain a motion now to accept the final financial quarterly report.
So, motion to accept.
Been properly moved. Second by Gideon Dunkley. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstaining, there being none, so moved. Thank you for that. One of the other alternates have arrived, so we're going to just shift back to a bit of the board correspondence here. Representing City Council Debbie Rose, Edwina Martin.
Yes.
Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes.
Okay, so the letter reads, Dear Mr. Hambric, on Thursday, June 9th, Edwina Martin will temporarily represent me at the Department of Youth and Community Development Community Action Board meeting. Thank you for this accommodation. Best regards, Deborah Rose. So I will entertain a motion now to recognize Edwina Martin. Properly moved by Bernice Williams-Johnson. Second by Gloria Benfield. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstaining, there being none, so moved. Thank you for being present at the meeting today. Did you want to say a few words at all to the CAB?
I apologize for being a few minutes late. Although we've had the budget handshake, there are still a lot of details that are being hammered out. And so I was working with the council member on those items. But I'm very excited to be here, and I look forward to future meetings with all of you.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Welcome. So next up, Chairman and Executive Committee report. So at our last Executive Committee meeting, the staff updated us on the funding applications and the findings of the state on the across. Help me out on the acronym of across again, Deputy Commissioner.
Across is an acronym for the Annual Compliance with Organizational Standards.
Okay. Say that 3 times real quick. As well as the Community Needs Assessment, the Customer Satisfaction Survey, and the Single Audit Report findings. So you may have noticed that you've gotten a good bit of emails on a lot of this stuff today, and maybe you haven't had a chance to review all of it, but to satisfy the state is the responsibility to inform the entire CAB of this information. So regarding the across, and I'm going to run through this, and certainly if you have any questions, I'm going to ask Deputy Commissioner to address that, or she can do a quick kind of presentation or feedback on it. But of the 50 standards, DYCD met 33. 17 remained unmet, including some of the following items that have been recently brought to the CAB's attention and again have been emailed to you over the last couple of days. The bylaws have been emailed to you today. If you notice, the whistleblower policy was also emailed to you earlier today. The conflict of interest forms, which we talk about at every single meeting. I know you may be tired of hearing about it, but it's an important form that needs to be filled out, so we need to be in compliance with that. If you haven't been diligent in filling that out, you may get an email. We definitely need that for every CAB member. The satisfaction survey that you've received is part of your packets right now. The covering of the results of the single audit and the strategic plan, which you'll probably hear about at this meeting. In terms of the community needs assessment, starting again this summer with the community surveys, a lot of you are familiar with that, including this time around surveys from other units of DYCD, such as the youth survey, employer survey, and the customer satisfaction survey. We'll also include an analysis and incorporating of the external poverty studies, and we'll run until the end of the year, the calendar year that is, with public hearings in the fall. Followed by NAB voting on priorities. The CAB is going to be intricately involved in this process, and we need you to be intricately involved in this process. Deputy Commissioner, anything, or anybody wants to just expound on that really quickly, just to put all that in perspective?
So the good news is that we had started the strategic planning process a year ago. So we had already done a vision statement, a mission statement, and many of the components were already in place. So we were right on the same page with the state when they sent the report of the standards that we had to meet. The problem was that the process hasn't been completed, but it will be because, come December, we'll do the community needs assessment. What will be a little different than the community, actually it's a lot different, the community needs assessment piece of it is that we're not just going to have people out there doing surveys. We're also going to be using many of the surveys that we have at DYCD that are run by other departments, like youth services, like workforce. And all of that data, with the data collected by the NEB members and city planning data, will all be analyzed really to give us more information about how is it that we can strategically fund new programs. So that's what's different about it. Our view is going to expand in terms of how we look at the community and what information or data we use to make these big decisions, to make sure that these communities get what they need. So it's going to be fuller and deeper. In terms of the strategic plan, there's really 3 or 4 components to it. One is, you might have remembered that Denise Williams made a presentation to you several months back that had to do with the settlement house recommendations. And basically we were saying that, again, we were going deeper into the community, we wanted to break silos, we wanted to have programs talk to one another and really make sure that we were, that communities were cooperating and collaborating on the services that they provided to a community. So that's the first piece of the strategic plan. The second is that big piece I just described, which is the community needs assessment that goes deeper and wider. The third piece is, how are we using IT, how are we using technology to make sure that all this data is analyzed properly, and also how do we give it back or communicate it back to the community. The fourth part of that is you guys, it's the NABs and the CABs, and how are you as members being utilized out there, not just for the purposes of this endeavor, but how are you also becoming the linchpins in your community to impact those communities and making decisions for the communities that you serve. So really, what I'm saying is that for the first time, I think it's historical at DYCD that this group, certainly CSBG funds, are sort of spearheading how DYCD looks at the work that we do in the community, but also that we're really poised and focused on the poverty issues of New York City through this work. That makes sense?
Yep. Any questions for the Deputy Commissioner? Thank you for that. If there are no further questions, I'll entertain a motion now to accept the Chairman's report.
Joe G, motion to accept.
Been properly motion.
Second, Tamika Robinson.
Been seconded by Tamika Robinson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstaining, there being none, so moved. We thank you for that. So we'll move in now to the individual committee reports. I'm going to start now with the program committee and Ms. Melissa.
Oh, programs are ready? That was fast. I was busy writing a statement. All right. So before I start, I want to invite everybody, because summer's coming, to the festival, the Boricua Festival on June the 25th. It's a free salsa concert in Sunset Park on 58th Street and First Avenue from 12 to 7 p.m. on the pier. So come and have a great time. It's free. And before I begin, I want to thank everybody for their service. I know, like the commissioner said, year round, we're here all the time, especially DYCD staff. They're here late, they work hard, they deal with a lot of crap and a lot of attitudes and a lot of personalities, and I want to give them a round of applause. Thank you so much. Even though you work here, I know it's your job, but I also know you want to pull your hair out sometimes. So, that being said, I also want to encourage you to attend your next NAB meetings when they start. Y'all know I'm a pain in the craw about that. Please get to know your NAB representatives, because we represent them. We need to hear back from them and bring their issues and concerns up to the CAB and up to DYCD. And as you all know, sometimes leadership becomes very stagnant when it always stays the same. So try and encourage people to join those NABs. Try to bring those representatives from the NABs up to the CAB. Even just invite them to this meeting so that they understand stuff that's going on. This meeting is a public meeting and is open to anybody in New York City. Now, my report. So, we had the most well-attended meeting ever. How many people came to our meeting? Like 60? At least. So, the most ever, because it was a training, but the most ever well-attended meeting in DYCD history. Thank you very much. And it was, okay, I wrote a little note and it's very scribbly and I ain't got no glasses on, so. Unlike other community meetings, program committee meetings, we did not have a agency come a funded agency to come and give their presentation. What we did have was representatives from the New York State Community Action Agency come and give a presentation about Roma. And in your package is the full presentation, but basically, if I could get my eyes right, Roma is a complete management and accountability process that's focused on the results achieved through an agency activities. So it was a very thorough presentation. As you all know, I'm going to just keep it there. And if you have any questions, just review your cheat sheet and the presentation. They also went over some of the historical background to CAB and how everything started. And I had to leave early, so I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for coming, and I will see y'all in September. Next.
All right, that was a fun presentation.
August. We'll see y'all in August at the next very well-attended program committee meeting. Get it in.
Any questions for Melissa? Hopefully not. I will say this, and then we can move to the next bit of business. I attended the Roma meeting. It was heavily attended. And a lot of the meetings that we're talking about here and a lot of the trainings, we're responding to what you're asking for. And that's what we're talking about, that full involvement. You ask for these type of trainings, you ask for more information to make you a much more productive CAB member or NAB member and figure out how you can best serve this board, and those things are happening. And that meeting was extremely informational. I got a tremendous amount of information out of that meeting. So again, thanks to all that attended. I know some of you here were at that meeting. Thanks again to DYCD for their support of the meeting, and look for more. There's already an agenda of meetings and trainings and other things that are taking place with respect to everyone's work schedule and personal life that I think you're going to find valuable to help you be much more productive in your role as a CAB. With that said, I'll entertain a motion to accept the program committee report.
So moved.
All right, well, it's already been moved by Melissa Ortiz.
Second.
It's been seconded by Gloria Benfield. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstaining, there being none, so moved. We'll now move into our strategic partnership committee report.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I just want to say, Melissa, I don't think that it's fair. You get all the credit for having all these people attend, but I got something for you coming
All right.
in September.
Bring it. I'll be there too.
Okay, so really quickly, we, during the Strategic Partnerships Committee meeting, we had an update on the outreach efforts for the summer youth employment employers drive that we were trying to do, and the response had not been as great as we were looking for, but this is year one, and we are looking to continue this drive on an annual basis. The drive started a bit, I would say, close to this year's summer youth employment programs. So the next effort is to really begin the push starting when we come back and have 6 or 8 months to be able to really do this drive. Excuse me. And this just in, everyone. We still have these postcards. They are available and they are still accepting employers until the end of June. So you can see them outside at the table, or you can pick some up at the end of the meeting and just pass them out, give them to different businesses. If you know small businesses as well, small business owners are always in dire need of assistance, and this would be a great training ground and exposure for youth to see what it's like to become an entrepreneur. So I'll put that out there as well. So it was decided that our chair, Greg Hambric, and I would send out an email, and Greg did all the work, thank you, Greg. To send out the email just to give a little bit of a push. The next thing we discussed were the upcoming trainings and meetings, and Melissa with the Aroma training, and then our board trainings. And then the other meetings that were coming up, the strategic, the legislative breakfast that happened the last week or before last week. Yeah. And then we started looking for speakers for this meeting. And one of the things that we always try to do is recognize the board members that have had to move on to leave the board, and you saw that here earlier during this meeting. And then the last thing was to coincide with all of these different requirements that we have, such as conflict of interest and all of these different things. One of the things we need to bring out and ensure that each member is aware of are any conflicts of interest and ethics. So we are going to put together an ethics training. The anticipation is that it will be annual, and it will coincide with the signing of the new conflict of interest forms that's also done annually. So look for that training, Melissa.
I'll be there.
Don't
threaten me.
To pop up in hopefully September when we come back. And that was it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on the strategic partnership?
I do have a question.
Yes.
Have we made any, like when there are like those community job fairs and things like that? Like, have we either set up a table or gone, like CYCD, either set up a table or gone to do outreach to those businesses that are there looking to hire people? Like, stuff like that. Like at a job fair?
No, as far as I'm aware.
I don't want, I mean, the at the CAB we have, but the SYP staff might have, I don't know what they do for outreach. They're all going to do for outreach. I'm sure they're
So maybe for those who, in their respective boroughs and communities, know of some upcoming job fairs, I know we talked about some things I know that you're doing in your community. If there's some stuff upcoming that you think is going to be an opportunity, we still have about a month to really sign up employers. If that's happening, let us know, send an email. I'll be happy to send out an email and try to ramp up the employer participation, because it's good to hear that the funds have been increased for SYEP, and you know the success of the program last year was the biggest turnout of participants ever in the history of the program. So to hear that it's more funds allocated to that is great, but you've heard me say this before, it only works if we have more employees that are available to
What about the Learning for Leaders? Are we doing promoting that as.
Yeah, that's being,
That's
yeah. The question was, what about the Ladders for Leaders? And you know, that's the structured program version of SYEP, where that's the internship, where they go through a kind of a structured orientation, and that's paid. So that's the one where employers are actually paying for the participants. So that, there's an opportunity for that. And then you have employers that really are interested in that. You know, they have specific job duties and responsibilities where they're looking for someone with a certain set of skills. And we need employers for that as well. So both programs are equally as important. So any feedback or ideas you have where we can ramp that up, that'll be helpful.
And I want to say that our youth is very well acquainted with social media, and that's to say the least, right? But they live, eat, and breathe it every day, and that's an area where they can be very useful to employers and small businesses that have adults that may not be quite as savvy. So that's an area where, when we talk to employers, that they can see an immediate benefit of bringing in someone.
So I want to say one thing, Bernice, before I let you go, now that you brought that up. For those who are on social media and social media savvy, EYC does a good job of tweeting out events and things that are taking place and promoting on their Facebook page. So if you're not currently following that, I would follow their Twitter handle, I would follow their Facebook page, and that's another way you can share this information with other contacts that may have other contacts that might be interested in some of the things that are taking place here. So I think that's a good idea.
No, I just want to, I know we probably do, but just to reiterate, we do promote this at the national level, right?
Yes. Yes. So that's it. Yes.
Karen, what's the projected start date for some youth? Is it too late for
July,
employees to come on board?
No,
July 5th is when it starts.
we have until the end of June for employers.
To come on board?
Yes.
What's the date, the end date?
And for what?
For the employees to come aboard?
Employers to the end of this month.
End of June. That's what you were asking when,
Yes.
for the employer
For
side?
employers, from the employer side.
Yeah, for the employer side, you have until,
End of June.
June 30th?
June
I
30th.
know. Maybe we should check, because I thought the date was June 19th, but we'll check.
Does it say it in any literature we have?
Yeah, well, it won't say it on this.
It'll say it on, not here, but when they go online, I would say.
We'll shoot you an email tomorrow,
Yeah.
right?
With the correct date.
for now we use the June 19th date, but we'll get back to you with the exact date. Any other questions? Partnership report?
Ma'am?
Okay, thank you, Karen. So I entertain a motion now to accept the strategic partnership report.
So moved.
It's been properly moved by Gloria Benfield,
Second.
second by Bernice Williams Johnson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstaining, there being none, so moved. Joseph Pierre is not present today to give his governance report. I will just go over the one action item that we need to vote on, which has to do with the proposed language to the excused absence in the bylaws. Give me a moment so I can find that to read it to you. Got it. So the proposed change is just a strikeout as a part of the phrase of the bylaws. So currently reads, excused absences are those absences due to reasons of illness or conflict with one's employment. Excused absences will only be recorded for those who contact the Department of Youth and Community Development prior to the meeting. And the proposed change is that we're striking out the prior to the meeting. Is that correct?
Yes.
We're striking out the prior to the meeting, and that's the change in the bylaws.
Oh, excuse me. So you have to call in?
Call or email, whatever.
You can email.
You can email. Any
Okay,
form.
and
Now, with this bylaw change, you'd be able to email after the meeting, presumably.
Right.
You're striking that language out.
Right.
Oh, you can email after the meeting. That's the
Because what was
change.
happening is sometimes people just weren't available to tell us. And when we went back to find out, it was like, you know what, I was in the hospital last night, and didn't get a chance to tell you. That kind of thing.
Any other questions? On the strikeout of the phrase? there are those questions, I'll entertain a motion to make the necessary changes stated to the bylaws for the excused absence.
Tessa Hackett Vera. So moved.
Yes. It's one in the packet.
Okay.
Motion's been moved by Tessa Hackett.
Second.
It's been properly seconded. I don't know who said first. Properly seconded by Karen Eason. All in favor?
Who said first?
Oh, yeah, Tessa Hackett.
Tessa Hackett
Yeah,
Vera.
yeah.
So moved.
It's been seconded by Karen Eason. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, abstaining, there being none, so moved. Okay, old business. Is there any old business we need to discuss? Old business. Okay, good. Any new business? No new business? All right, so we are coming to the end of the meeting. Before we adjourn, I want to wish everyone a happy summer. I want to congratulate those who have graduates. Tessa Hackett's son graduated college. Congratulations. Anybody else have graduates?
Mr. Robinson, high school graduate going to Howard University.
My son came out of Howard.
Oh, yes.
No, my son is a banker.
So congratulations to the graduates. Make sure they pay you back all the money.
What?
Any graduates? Okay, so say it again. I'm sorry.
My daughter's going to Brooklyn College Academy.
Okay, so we have another graduate, the high school graduate going to high school. Gloria Benfield?
I just wanted to, Mr. Chair, to recognize those others that were not,
That
such
came in
as
afterwards?
Cynthia Cox.
Yes. Did you, okay, you properly recorded. Okay. Secretary just went and properly recorded those who ended up coming to the meeting after it started to mark them as present. And you got,
Susan, turn it up.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thanks.
yes, you got you. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Been moved by Bernice Williams, second by Gloria Benfield. All in favor?
Aye.
Have a great summer. See you all.
See you again. Merry Christmas.